Good morning. How are you guys? Now, don't be late next time, okay? I shouldn't be here first or any other presenter, okay? We agreed, eh? So don't let us down. I am very happy to listen in to your feedback on what you were able to capture yesterday. I hope you can walk the talk, but with me, definitely you will have to. Otherwise, you're going to fail to get a job, or you will get it by chance. Okay? So you have to listen. You have to practice what we learned. And for the rest of the presenters who are here, like I told you, we carefully selected people to come and talk to you. They have taken time to be here. And for them, it is more than what we give them, but what they feel they are putting in you. They are sharing their experiences with you. And it's not that our experiences are so good that we want to power it out there or even brag, but sometimes we just want you to learn out of a mistake that I may have done, and I don't want you to do it again. Do you understand? We have learned, we have taken our lessons, and we think you can do it better because you're the generation that is coming in. And we expect you to go beyond what we have accomplished, okay? So today we are going to continue with our session of selection process. We talked about preparing our CVs, making them attractive, trying to pick the attention of the recruiters and shortlisters. So we will also be now talking about how we prepare for an interview, how you behave in an interview, and things to do and what not to do in an interview. And we will sum it up all with a mock. So I will borrow the expertise of our HR practitioners now. Where are the HR people? Banange, be proud. You stand up there and then. HR in the house. Only two? No. I had an HR this side as well. The first class student. She majored in HR, she said. Yes, you don't have to be an industrial psychologist or a degree in human resource management. You may even want to do HR as a passion. So I'll borrow your expertise. You will be learning. It is like you're on an apprenticeship. So we'll be working together on some of these activities. All right, now, but before this comes in, we are very delighted to have the lady whose character or reputation supersedes her. Do you know her? She walked in. Did you see her? You're just clapping. No. Okay. I'm going to introduce someone who at a very young age has accomplished quite a lot in the legal fraternity. She's the CEO of the League of East African Directors and the President Emeritus of Uganda Law Society. You did not hear about this lady. Okay. She's a director at EABC, founder, Fidelis Leadership Institute, and a senior partner, Nabassa and Company Advocates. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Miss Phiona Nabassa Wall. You've never heard of her. So, Madam, you're very welcome, and we are very happy to have you today.
Thank you. Please give it up for Hajati. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Yes, okay, I know I have a small voice, but don't say hi. Hi, everyone. Hey, use your entrepreneur voice. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here. Today we're supposed to speak about professionalism and personal development in the workspace. So before I start my presentation, I have something very, very strange that I want to practice today. It's something from the Japanese culture, and I'm going to assign tables each. I'm going to assign this table. I want you to write the word ikigai. Say ikigai. Yes, so look it up. Look it up, this table, table 1. Shikita. Is someone writing? It's our A-E-O-U, so relax. Shikita, ga, G-A, nai. It's not one word, it's 3 words. Shikita, ga, nai. Wabi sabi. That's easy, right? Wabi sabi. You have a boring one. G-A-M-A-N. Gaman. I don't know how they pronounce this in Japanese, but now you guys, it's a tongue twister. Ubaitori. So it's O-U-B, O-U-B, A-I-T-O-R-I. Ubaitori. And are you part of the team? Yes. Okay. Are you ready for this? Kaizen. K-A-I-Z-N. Z-E-N. So, of the remaining tables, who's dying to do the next one? Wow. Okay, over there. So, you're doing shuhari. Shu, not sukari, but S-H-O-U. S-H-U. Then H-A, that's a different word. Then R-I. Don't join them, Ugandans. Shu. Ha. Ri. Yes. So these are the concepts by which Japanese professionals have been encouraged to live by. Yes? Has anyone looked up Ikigai? Uh-huh. So that now this is for all of you. To encourage teamwork, we're going to have more than 2 people say something about whatever you're going to read about. Yes? So who's ready here? Who's ready to say something about Ikigai? You said you've looked it up. Were you lying? Okay. So who's looked it up? Yes. Your name and what you've done. Please stand up. We're talking about professionalism. One of the things we're going to learn about is presentation, yes? So.
Okay, so my name is Margaret Ibila, and we looked for the word ikigai, and ikigai means something that gives someone a sense of living, like a purpose as to why you're living. So what's your purpose? Okay, my purpose is to live to make others happy and to improve on my society.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Give a big hand clap. So as a professional, whenever you stand up, greet people first. Somebody else? Yes.
I'm Nakosara. We've also come across the 4 rules of Ikigai.
What are the 4 rules of Ikigai? You see this?
You stay active,
Stay active.
don't retire,
Don't retire.
take it slow, get in shape,
Have you had
live in the moment.
Yes.
They gave more. Surround yourself with good friends, give thanks, and then you have to follow your Ikigai. Purpose.
Thank you very much. So one of the things that's going to help develop you as entrepreneurs, as employees, is you need to keep learning and learning and learning. And you've heard what she said. So today I want to recommend you to read a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Has anybody read it? Okay, you've probably done YouTube videos of TED, but just Start With Why, Simon Sinek. Yeah, so our next group, you ready for me? Yes? Please, be sharp, be fast. You people are younger than me, I'm like 3 times your age, please.
Okay, good morning once again. My name is Namanya William, and we looked up for Shaktaganai. And we found out that it means nothing can be done about it. Thank you.
Shikita Ganai.
Ganai.
What does nothing can be done about it? So we kill ourselves?
So maybe, yeah, anyone can share about it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Scovia. It means nothing can be done about it. They gave an example like something happened, and then you look and you find that there is no existing solution. You can't heal yourself, but you rather move to the next phase on doing what you can do.
Who knows the serenity prayer? Anybody? Kids are very clever. Clap for yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know the full prayer. My name is Rachel. I represent this group. I don't have the full prayer in context, but what I've got from the prayer is you ask God to grant you to grant you like acceptance of things you cannot change. Yeah.
So this is really Shikita Ganai is to let go of what you cannot change. Yes? If people are talking about the gap in your teeth, or people are talking about your parents, where you come from, there are things you can't change about your life, right? Your height, they used to call me Flamingo. I was really skinny. I don't look it now, but they used to call me Flamingo in primary school. It was terrible. Now I wish I looked like a flamingo, But many times, I want you to pick your fingers, put up your right hand. Each of those fingers has a unique identity. Each of those fingers has a fingerprint that is not replicated even on your other hand. Did you know that? Look at your friend's eyes. Each of you has 2 separate irises that are so different from each other and are different from everyone else's irises in the world. Do we know that? Did you know that? That your eyes have different irises? Did you know that? If you're going to do a biometric entry somewhere and you use your right eye, if you try your left eye, it won't work. Did you know that? Well, it's a fact. Every snowflake is unique. Even identical twins have unique DNA, despite the fact that they came from the same egg, the same fertilized egg. Yes? So one thing I'm here to tell you is that within your uniqueness is your purpose. But you have to first embrace your uniqueness. They said, know your purpose. Your uniqueness is going to be those things that you can't change, that everybody has used against you for years. My mother used to spank me for over-smiling. Teachers would put you at the front, that you smile too much, you look naughty, so come and sit in front. But I use my smile to win in negotiations. When I just started my first job in National Water, I was in charge of debt management. And I found debt, okubanja. And I found debt of about 40 billion. But I'm telling you that I was able to collect debt of about 1.6 billion the first 6 months that I was there. And everybody used to smile at this skinny, smiling girl. But the day the MD announced my results, he said this girl here can sell sand to an Arab in the desert, you know? You know what I mean, So so I hated my smile all this time. People will tease you about your teeth. They'll tell you your lips are pink because your mom drank waraji. You know, they'll be mean. So there are things about your life and your personality and your physique that you can't change. But there are also things about your workplace that you can change. If you work in a government institution that's political, there's politics everywhere. There are things you will not change. Your boss is old-fashioned, you can't change that. But the goal is to accept it and see how to use it to catapult yourself wherever you're going. Say Shikita Ganai. Can we say it, all of us? Yes. Wabi Sabi. Have you? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Namuhula Juliet. I did industrial and organizational psychology. So Wabi Sabi means a way of living that focuses on finding beauty in imperfection and accepting the natural cycle of growth and decay. Just being able to realize that nothing lasts and nothing is perfect.
Do we understand that? There's a statement that says, "This too shall pass." Yes? But I love what she said. Beauty in imperfection. There is nothing on earth that is perfect the way human beings want to think about it in a linear way. And there's a song that I love so much. It says, "God bless this broken road that led me straight to you." Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. So I don't know where you guys are at. I haven't read your bios or where you're at in life. But sometimes you're a legal person like me. You've studied law, you're there. You've just gotten your debt. And then the MD walks into your office and says, "You're going to be the head of PR." And you're like, "What is that? Me, I want to be a lawyer." Do you understand? Then he says, "That's the only job available." Isn't that a broken road? Imperfection? Yes? So what I'm saying is something someone told me in Uganda. Togaya milimu. You will get opportunities. The first job interview I did getting out of campus was for an association of broadcasters. I was going to be their secretary to the board. That's really cool, right? But in the interview, there's a lady called Mrs. Maria Chiwanuka. She told me, come to my office after this, after they gave me the job. So I went to her and she told me, "I want you to host Talkback on Radio 1. I said, "Me? A lawyer who's going to be secretary to your board, to be the DJ? Do you understand? How?" But my ethos in life, my purpose is to be faithful, available, and teachable. And available means togaya mirimu. So I went and did the job. And years later, when I'm president Law Society, guess who had to use the speaking skills? Guess who had to use the interviewing skills? Guess who had to deal with media on a daily? And it's those skills that I got when I was hosting the morning show on Radio 1 that helped me through it. So sometimes do not despise small beginnings. That's what I'm trying to say. Wabi sabi. Find peace and beauty in imperfection. Yes? But that means also accept each other. As a team leader, you're going to find sometimes as leaders, especially if you're a perfectionist, you expect everybody to meet your high standards. But sometimes your standards are imperfect. Everyone has been told that we don't need a high IQ only. We need an EQ. We need you to be emotionally awake. We need you to empower your team. A PhD holder might not know how to empower a team. But your housemaid or the cleaner in your office who smiles at you all might teach you something on customer care. So find beauty, peace, and even purpose in imperfection. Our next group, what's your word?
Hello, my name is Jemima. We have Gaman. It means enduring the seemingly unbearable with patience and dignity. It means displaying a calm forbearance or poise in the face of adverse conditions which are not under your control. For example, tolerating a noisy passenger or an annoying colleague. That's what it means.
So have you ever seen a swan? Okay, maybe in Uganda, a duck. When it's swimming on the water, it looks very serene, right? But what's happening under the water? It's doing what? It's flapping its feet like mad, yes? So what am I saying? Do your hustle. Do your hustle, but with dignity. Yes? Today we're talking about, I don't know what's happening to my PPT. Can someone help me? Brenda? Today we're talking about professionalism. Professionalism is that, Gaman, is preserving your dignity during tough times, your resilience. If I walk, as lawyers, we're told that it is the lawyer who keeps their cool in court that might win the day. You understand? Because we test each other in the courtroom. In fact, if you're a witness and you're a witness for the other side, it will be my job to disorganize you. Now, if you are a team leader, for some reason, the team is you're leading will want to provoke you. If you have children, who has children here? They really can test you, can't they? But if you see your daughter and she's about to touch the fire and you also start screaming like a headless chicken, is there going to be order? If you have, how many of you say, I have a bad temper and that's me? Who's that? Who's that? I lose my cool. Don't make me lose my cool. You don't want to see it. Do you know those people? Fire. I was made for violence. Who are those people? I just come here to disrupt. I'm a disruptor. Who are those people? But how far do they go with that? Will anyone want you in their boardroom? Will anyone want you leading their team and influencing them? Will anybody even want you carrying their cup of tea when they don't know how stable it will be? You know? So Gaman is very important. Part of professionalism is being able to keep calm. And the reason you're keeping calm is because you're a leader. If your people read panic, you're dead. If in the negotiating room, they call it a poker face. Who knows a poker face? If you have a bad deck of cards and you know you're losing, still look like you're winning. Fake it till you make it. Because if they think you have good cards, they might fold and you might win. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, who has played Matatu? That one. When you have the joker. No, when you know she has the joker, you start playing like you also have a joker. And you've got nothing. That's what I mean. Poker face. It's very important for you to have a poker face. In 1960, it was the year of Yom Kippur it was a season of Yom Kippur. It's a public holiday for the Jews. They celebrate that day. The whole of the Arab world decided that they were going to eliminate the Jewish nation. So this was a public holiday where these guys are not supposed to work or do anything, like the Sabbath for SDS. And this general went outside and saw he saw that they were surrounded. Tankers were coming at them from, was it Syria? They were just coming at them. And they were coming to annihilate them. This guy didn't know what to do. He knew by the time he called everybody, by the time he made an alarm, his country would be eviscerated. So do you know what he did? He went into every tank. There were tankers. You know those tanks? There were tanks. He started each and every one of them. So the other Syrians got up. They were expecting to do an ambush on people that are sleeping, and they saw tankers approaching. And that guy saved the day because that caused the enemy to pause. You understand? And in the enemy pausing, these people had enough time to plan and get, by the time Egypt hit the other side, by the time the nation of Israel was saved that day, because somebody practiced gaman. Preserve your dignity during tough times, because they're there. Isaiah 43 says, when you go through the water, when you go through the fire, he doesn't say, I will remove you. Does he? Says, I will be with you. Meaning, you got to go through that. Yes? But I will be with you. And the other thing he tells you is, it will not consume you. You will not die. So the tough times are coming in your career, in your marriage, in your home. Your generation is supposed to, please read about resilience. Read about how to strengthen your resilience. Look for practical ways to practice your resilience. One of those is to get that really annoying workmate everyone avoids and make them your friend. You know, to teach you patience. So, Ubaitori, yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Regan Sekuanda. Our task is Ubaitori. That's how it's pronounced. It's a story that reminds us of walking our own paths in life. That every flower blooms at its own time. It's a reminder that every soul has its own journey that is going to walk in life. Let's live lives that are incomparable with others, that we may all start the same, but we shall not bear fruit at the same time. Thank you.
Give him a big hand clap. I couldn't have said it better myself, you know? You all have different timelines. We all have 24 hours in a day, yes? But we use them differently, don't we? Do you know that to be an expert in anything, John Maxwell says you have to have 10,000 hours? I did the math. On average, if you are your average Gen Z, you're going to walk into office, walk to the tea station, have tea, gossip with your buddy, go sit on the computer, first check your emails, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, call your boyfriend who was calling you last night frantically, and then you'll sit down to work. And then at 10, you'll go out and get that katogo, and then you'll get back to work. So on average, I think people, on average, will concentrate at least 4 hours on a good work day. Did you know that? And we pay for 8, right? But I'm telling you that if you are to work 4 hours for 5 days a week, you are going to need 10 years to do the 10,000 hours. Did you know that? So that's why the judiciary of Uganda says to be a high court judge, you should have 10 years as a lawyer. Most jobs say to be a manager, you should have 10 years. That's what they mean. That's what they're basing on. You need 10,000 hours. So hone your craft. I'll tell you, when I was doing radio, I was doing another job, So I've always had 3 jobs. I remember after working for 5 years in 3 jobs, when I put out my CV, I had 15 years experience. Do you get what I'm saying? So we all have the same amount of time. What do you do with it? My evenings were spent at KIU lecturing. I'd be 9 months pregnant, but I'm like, this hustle has to go. I have energy, you know? I'm not saying kill yourself like that. I think with your generation, it's easier. You can come here with an Uber that you're driving. Yes? You can stay in an Airbnb. Some of you are single here, yet you're staying in 2-bedroom houses that are not making money for you. That's idle income, right? Like totally idle income. And then you have your job. So you don't have to kill yourself the way some of us used to do. But what are you doing with your time? Uibaitori. Do not compare yourself to others. Your story is different. People used to say, Phiona, you're on radio, you're confused. Phiona, you went to PR. What happened to your legal career? You know? Then I reached PR, I went to Airtel, and we're doing the merger, we're doing cranes. Guys, I hosted, what was that? Big Brother Africa in Uganda. That was something, you know? You could have thought I'd arrived. I was missing law. Because I used to meet my friends and they'd be like, but Phiona, what are you doing here? You know? So the moment National Water called and said, do you want to come back and head the legal department? I was like, yes. And I left and I took a pay cut. You need to know your purpose, right? If you don't, anything will take you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to know your purpose. Your path is different. I'm the only president of the Law Society in the world who has ever been a government employee when they became a president of the Law Society. Did you know that? So do not let the unique circumstances of your work or your history or how you got into the room keep you from aiming for those things which everybody else is aiming for. Do you understand? Barack Obama was running for president. He had always wanted to be president, but guess what? This guy had some dark things in his closet. Dark things of, I am Kenyan, of what? He said, I am going to own this. He sold these things out. He's called Barack Hussein. Banange. Like, it sounds like a terrorist just saying it. You know? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? But guess who became the president of the United States? 2 terms. And he left them hungry. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he's still slaying, isn't he? With his gorgeous wife. In fact, he left people wishing Michelle would also run. Have you heard of that? Bill Clinton, the day he became president, I'm that old. I was watching CNN. That guy played a saxophone all the way from Capitol Hill. He played a saxophone in the street. Because his love for music was the only way he could express his joy that he had finally made it to be the president of the United States of America. Can you imagine a new president of a whole party playing a saxophone? Google it. Your uniqueness. Oh, by Tori. So, Kaizen. Yes?
Hi everyone, my name is Tracy Kamabati and our word is Kaizen. Now Kaizen is a compound of 2 Japanese words that translate together as good change or improvement. So if you put them together, then Kaizen means continuous improvement.
Thank you. Yes? Let's give a hand clap.
My name is Esther Deke. So Kaizen has key phases, that is selecting, planning, implementing, and follow-up.
Thank you very much. And Kaizen is preparing us for our next Japanese word. And it's saying, continually seek to improve yourself. Remember I told you I want to be fat, faithful, available, teachable. So we've talked about availability. Now we're talking about being teachable. Constantly learning. Thank you guys for being here. I don't know who got you into this room, but pat yourself on the shoulder and say, thank you for investing in me. Because you're constantly learning, you're practicing Kaizen, yes? And I want you to remember that every small change is going to add up to who you are. Every small thing. Do not ignore that workshop. Do not ignore. I know that your generation, I'm going to judge you and assume you're young. You like Netflix and chill, right? Right? Okay, is that too bougie? What else do we like? Huh? TikTok. Oh my God, yes. But do you know that person you're staring at is making loads of money by you staring at them? So what's it in your life that you could TikTok? Yes? Yeah. Kaizen. Please seek to improve yourself over and over again. Shuhari. Yes. So Kaizen prepares us for Shuhari. So please listen for the connection.
Good morning. My name is Adumo Mary Magdalene, and the word is Shuhari. Okay. There are 3 words. It is Shuhari. And this means to learn. It is first learn, detach, then finally you transcode. When they say to detach means separate, then transcend is to rise above, or transcend is to learn above or go beyond limits. And this has gotten 3 stages. We have the first stage, which is the transcend stage, which means to follow the rule. Oh, no, it has gotten 3 stages. Then we have the proficient teams. I mean, they're like teams, eh? The first one is the transcend one, which I said it's to follow the rule.
I want you to tell me what you understand.
Already. Oh, Shuhari means we have to learn detach. Detach means to separate. We have to separate. Then after this separation, we have to finally rise above limits. Yes.
Someone else? Okay. So Shu speaks for learning, right? And there's a teacher, a Japanese teacher called Tao Te Ching. I think it's Chinese, actually. Tao Te Ching says, when the student is ready. Look at your friend and say, when the student is ready.
When the student is ready.
That teacher will appear. Look at your friend and say that with attitude.
When the student is ready.
Meaning when you're ready to learn. Eh? Do you have that friend of yours who you told that boyfriend is a loser, you need to leave him, and she went and reported you to him? Eh? Do you have that girlfriend, that boyfriend, friend of yours who you told that chick is going to eat your money, she's just a player, and he went and reported you? Let me tell you, he wasn't ready for you. When he is ready, you will appear. Do you understand? So are you ready? Ask your neighbor, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Should my teacher appear? And the teacher is a mentor, a coach. Who's the highest paid footballer in the world? Ronaldo, Messi, okay. Well, I'll forgive you since you're all ladies. We all love football through others. But if even the highest paid footballer needs a coach, do you get this? Do you know what my job is as CEO of Lead? My job is to coach CEOs to coach board directors. My job is to get board chairman coaches. Did you know that? If a board chairman like Charles Mbiri can have a coach, who are you? Who are you, Mbu? You're not, eh? Mbu, you don't want a mentor. You don't want to be accountable to anyone. If Lionel Messi still thinks he needs someone to teach him how to kick a ball, who are you not to need one? Do you get what I'm saying? Jesus spent time. He was the Son of God. But he spent time when he got lost in the temple. His mother found him doing what? No, that's a lie. Please read. What was he doing? He was learning. He was seated with elders learning. He was Jesus. What business did he have to learn? Do you understand? In Africa, we have a proverb that when a child cleans his hands, he will sit at the table of elders. Yes? You guys are brilliant. I can see you. I can read you. I can hear you. I can feel your energy. You're brilliant. And right now, you're at the table of elders because I am telling you, Hajati over there is not small beans. But she's investing her time here. PSFU and Mastercard and all these organizations are investing in you among all Ugandans. Do you know how lucky you are? You are already at the table of elders. So when you are at that table of elders, professionalism and how you present is going to matter. Is what will keep you on that table. Because if you start, you see, let me tell you, the only person who can water soup or water bushera on live TV, and he trends because of it, is our president. Right? Because this man, since the 1960s, has been involved in every revolution in Africa, including fighting for apartheid in South Africa, in where. So he doesn't care what you think. He's already arrived. Do you understand? So you cannot reach the table of elders and sit with Hajati and start watering soup. Do you understand what I'm saying? When Barack Obama sits in the White House with folded sleeves and no tie, my dear, that's not a hint that you should take off your tie and fold your sleeves. You're not yet there. Do you know how many ties he had to wear to get on Capitol Hill? Do the process. You need a teacher. Who is that you want to be like, yes, please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. You know, this dude knows himself. Let him show you properly. Do you understand? Show up. Tell your neighbor, show up. Let me tell you, you might want to meet Barack Obama, but he might not get a chance to greet you. But what will he see? How you look. Do you understand? How do you look? How do you present? How do you speak? What confidence do you bring into the room? A friend of mine says confidence is the most beautiful outfit you can wear. And confidence is something you can fake, by the way. You don't have to have it. Ask me. Right now I'm faking it. So, Shu is when you are ready, your teacher will appear. Now tell your neighbor, when the student is ready, the teacher will disappear. Do you understand? The teacher is going to appear. The teacher is going to invest in you, but you need to know that this is going to be for a season and for a reason. If you miss the season, if you miss the lessons, there's going to come a time when the teacher has to disappear. I hope your teachers don't disappear when you're not ready, right? Are you ready? Yes. So we are saying learn, learn, learn. Now her, that was Shu, her says learn. Practice, practice. After the teacher has, that's the separation she was talking about. After the teacher has detached themselves, it is your duty to learn, learn, learn. We go around getting skills and not using them. Someone said education is what you have when you forget everything you studied. So is there anything left? If you just went to school if you come to this room for only what the people like me are going to teach you, you're going to miss a lot. Because you're here to learn from each other. There's something called peer learning. You're here to network with each other because tomorrow you're going to be needing a job and so will be, you will have a law firm and she'll be running a business. You will need her as a client. So I hope that you will not leave your table without intimately knowing your friends that are on that table. You need to do life with people. Lastly, after you've practiced, innovate. Say innovate. This is now when you bring your greatness to the table. Do you understand? Because the teacher has come, the teacher has gone, you have practiced, you have mastered the basics, you've done the work. Now you innovate. Please don't stay on the bicycle and ride it like everybody else. Bring something new to the table. Because God brought you at this time in this particular place because you have something to add. Why? What was the first thing we did? Because of your purpose, because of your uniqueness, because of any imperfections that set you apart from everybody else. So, someone else help me with this presentation thing. Brenda? Is it Brenda? So we're talking about professionalism. And I've talked about many things. And if you have been listening, I told you you'll only learn when you're ready. Yeah? If you've been listening, we've already talked about professionalism. How you present. Sometimes the first impression is all there is. Do you get it? The first impression is all there is. So how do you present? When I walk into the room, who am I going to notice? Ladies, you're a female. Embrace your femininity. Gentlemen, you're a man. Embrace your masculinity. The first thing you have that is going for you, that I will use to identify you, is whether you're a man or a woman, right? The next thing I'm going to identify is whether you're maybe tall or short, right? The next thing might be a hairstyle or how you're dressed, right? But what if I walk into a room and it's a completely different race? There's something called racial blindness. Have you heard of it? Yes? I'm telling you, if a white man walked in here, would all look the same. It doesn't matter. Even our hair would look the same for some reason. Do you get it? So what is that unique identifying factor about you? How do you walk into the room? How do you bring your greatness? How do people experience you? Do they experience your moods? Are you taking people on the adventure of Phiona's mood swings? You know, get to know Phiona's emotions. Have they experienced unnecessary volumes of your temper? You know? Thank you. Do they find leadership? Do they find hope? Do they find counseling? Do they find peace? There's a proverb that says, a nagging wife, you'd rather sleep on the roof. Have you heard about that? Yeah? You'd rather sleep on the roof. Would your workmates rather sleep on the roof? Are you a joy to be with? So professionalism is your values. What do you stand for? And it goes with integrity and it goes with ethics. What do you stand for? You need to know what you stand for, or else your ikigai is lost. What does your organization stand for? If you want to win in your organization, what's its ikigai? What are those values they write all over? They're saying a thought leader, knowledge generation for societal transformation. Yes, so you're going to be part of that. You're a student of Makerere. Are you a thought leader who came out of there? Or are you one of those, where they are like, we failed? What is the vision of your organization? Are you making it a part of your vision? Professional behavior impacts the entire workforce. If you go to the toilet and you misuse it, you're going to mess up someone's day. Do you know that? If you don't, I'm sorry to be basic like this, but this is professionalism. This is work things. Professionalism is conducting yourself in a way that makes it a safe place to work with you. Yes? So we have people who did these things in school. You'd find shoe marks on the toilet seat. And they still do it in the workplace. The first time I went to National Water, I went to a bathroom and that happened. I was like, I should look for my OG. There's a girl who used to do this. Do you know what I mean? Integrity and character are what you do when no one is watching. So I might be talking about a toilet, but what are you doing when your colleague's pen is lying on their desk and you need a pen badly? Are you going to rip to yourself that, by the way, I'm borrowing your pen? Or are you just going to snatch it? Yes? Someone has put paper in the printer on a day that you people are out of paper. She's just put in her paper, she has an assignment to print, and you quickly go and click print. Do you know what I'm saying? Professionalism requires you to have the character to be considerate, to be respectful, respect for others, for other people's property. Let me tell you, this Mabati saga did not start yesterday. This Mabati saga started in schools with pencils and pens. Do you understand? You found your pen in my bag. It was just in my bag. I don't know who put it there. And let me tell you, even the people who created the penal code knew that there are people like that. That's why they said if we find you with stolen property, it's a crime. Because they knew you'd say you don't know how it got there. So they're like, we don't care how it got there. The fact that it's there is a crime. So respect for yourself. Do you respect yourself? Do you respect yourself enough to make sure your hair is combed before you show up in public? Do you respect yourself enough in the way you handle your things? How is your desk, you know? Do you respect yourself at home, you know? Someone talked about making your bed. Some people don't like to make their beds, but that's character. It's already showing. Yes? Professionalism means mature responsibility. That no one, my first boss, Mariachwanka, used to tell me, the buck stops with you. Do you know what that means? Look at your neighbor and say, the buck stops with you. Buck is B-U-C-K. When hunters would be hunting, you understand? They would have dogs that would go and chase the game towards them so that they could kill the game. Do you understand? Are we together? Some of you are looking very bored. You didn't expect hunting stories. So I don't know anything about hunting. I'm just telling you a story here. So if I'm going to spear the buck and I get scared and I let it go, the whole village will starve that day, right? The buck being this male deer or male, what is it called? What is ours? Cob. The male, you know? So you have to know that the buck stops with you. We are hunting as a village, but should it come to you, it should die there at your feet. Do you get it? So if there is a deal for your team to make, it stops with you. If you are the receptionist and someone needs to come to your office for service, you might kill that deal there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have a receptionist who's an engineer. She is fantastic. This chick closes people. Someone walks in with a legal problem, then she tells them, have you done a leadership training? Then before I know it, she's like, Phiona, I've recruited someone else for the leadership training. The person came in for a legal problem. They knew nothing about the institute, you know? She'll say, how are you? So you have this legal problem. Okay, so who's your corporation secretary? Then she'll come and say, I have gotten a deal to be company secretary also. Do you get what I'm saying? I love this girl. Like a deal cannot pass her. And for her, everyone who's walking is a walking deal. I wish she's the one who had come here, by the way. She amazes me. Do you know where I met her? I met her in a restaurant. I went to a restaurant that has things for children. So my children were swimming and this girl looks up to me. She's like, hello, mommy, are you okay? She's already calling me mommy. She knows I have children. So she already has my mammary glands. She's like, I'm controlling you. Hello, mommy, are you okay? I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, do I get you a drink? But where you are, there are flies. Those of you who've been to Hamilton, if you know it in Shira, there are flies here. Let me take you to a place. I was like, no, I'm watching my kids. She said, no. I'm going to get that guy to watch your kids. Do you get this girl? Then I'm there. Then I tell her, how is this place? Is it nice? She's like, yes, it's very nice. In fact, we have accommodation. Where are you going for Easter? This girl, we spent our Easter. She convinced me, got me a deal. I think her employers had never thought of hosting a whole family at that place. They hosted us. And she took care of us. And I got her number. And every time anyone asked me for someone to work, I would tell her I have a girl. But every time I'd call her, she'd be like, I'm doing what I love. I told her, Madam, what's wrong with you? Then she went up and finished her degree. And then she called me one day. She said, now I'm ready. I said, but I don't have an engineering job. She said, no, I'm ready to work with you. I told her I don't have employment. She said, I will wait. Let me tell you, when I opened my law firm, the first person I thought of was not a lawyer. It was an engineer. When I opened FLI, when I thought of a coordinator, the first person I thought of was an engineer, not some leadership person I had met anywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? She was available. She has values. She's consistent. And she is teachable. This girl now knows more law than some of my people that are working at the firm. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I am telling you that you need to be that hungry. You need to be that present. If you are here, be present. Do you know what I mean by present? Do you know what I mean by present? Don't be at your friend's wedding and you're on the phone. You know? Or you're jazzing that boy you've always wanted to talk with and you've forgotten everybody. Or you're the matron and you forget that you are there about the bride. You're just swinging your phone, doing TikToking your lips, you know? Be present. Because you will miss things. I told you when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The teacher might appear at the wedding. The teacher might appear in the club. You went with your friends. You went with your 3 friends, but some person is eyeing you and you forget them. Like, guys, I'll go home alone. Be present. You might go home with a hyena. And that'll be the end of you, you know? A snake, you know? When I was a kid, they used to tell us about a chick who would switch off the light from 6 feet away, you know? What I'm saying is be present. Whether in your private life, if you go for your family function, you've gone to see your mom. Yes, mom is boring. Yes, her stories are many. Yes, she's talking about everybody on the chalo. Be present. You don't have her for long. But there's so much. Let me tell you, your first coach in life are your parents. If you don't have parents, whoever raised you. And I'm asking you today, did you have enough time with them? Do you have enough time with them? When you sit with mommy, do you hear from her how she met her husband? How did she decide he was the right one? How did daddy con her? You're the boy. But dad, mom is so hot. How did you land her? Mom had a career. How did she leave her job and sit here? Like, how did you have to charm her to do that? Not that I want you to make your wives leave their jobs, but you know what I mean. Mommy, how did you raise us? I was such a headache as a teenager. Tell me. You know? Mom, when you are getting married, this thing of bride price, your first coach is your parent. And we don't spend time with them. In fact, when we become teenagers, we abandon them. Then you go to campus and you don't know them and they're total strangers. It's only when you're having a baby, you're like, Mommy, in labor, and you're remembering her. Of course she's there. She's always been there. She's always been waiting because you're her life. For most of us, me, my children, they know. They know that I am there. But when my son was in P7, P6, if you meet him now, he tells you, I'm Ethan Wall. Then then you ask him, what's your job experience? And he'll tell you, I have been the PA to the president of the Uganda Law Society. He was my PA. He would tell me what to do. And this was me because I realized I'm coaching everybody else. I'm making leaders of people. What am I doing to my own children? So I said, okay, you shall be my PA. And he used to organize my diary. He's a perfectionist. He has OCD, so he was perfect. So one day he said, Mommy, I'm tired of you going on Friday in casual, what do you call it? Casual Friday. And then you discover you have a board meeting. Then he starts calling us to send a suit. So I'm hiring Ariana, my daughter. I'm hiring Ariana as the fashion assistant. Now this boy, when I told him to be my PA, he wrote a contract, a 1-page contract. And I didn't look at the contract. I just signed it because he told me he'd charge me 20K per month. So I was like, oh, this boy doesn't know money. Choop, I signed. So when he came to me and said, I want to hire Ariana as your fashion assistant, I said, I'm not paying money. He said, no, I'll pay her 5K. We've made a deal. We've signed a contract. I said, what? This boy, by the way, doesn't like literature, he doesn't want to do anything to do with law. He is very science biased. So Ariana every Friday would lay out a suit. I'd say, but Ari, I want my casual. She'd say, Mommy, according to the calendar, you have a board meeting. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they took care of me. And my fashion changed. My daughter is styled up. But I'm telling you that in doing that, my children were part of my schedule to the point that they would tell me, where are you going on this Saturday? Your calendar shows that it is supposed to be time for us. Where are you going? And then you'd be like, eh. So you know, as time when you've reached Chira, you're relaxing, then your friends are like, oh, Phiona, did you forget today is so-and-so's birthday? Mommy, it's not on the program. It's our time. They helped me be a mother. But I'll tell you that one thing that I was amazed at is when he reached his vacation, I had never paid this boy. I'd completely forgotten about it. But I'd enjoyed his services. He came to me with a bill. And the bill had interest. So I told him, I said, excuse you, what interest? He said, Mommy, it's on the contract. Remember the other contract? He said, any overdue amounts. I don't know where he got this. Because I don't give my children money. We give them physical break and stuff, you know. He said, Mommy, you signed. You're a lawyer. Don't you know what it means? I remember my husband saying, you've been hard, you know. But what was that showing me? That this boy was ready. He utilized his 2 years. So he did an interview for the school and he told these people about the work he had been doing for me. I was scheduling her. I was doing this. I was doing that. I was making sure she didn't double book herself. And these people were so impressed. And I didn't know what an amazing job he'd done for me until he went to boarding school. And then my life just went to, I mean, I had a PA, but yeah, they were not being as efficient as a P7. You know what I mean? So what am I saying? Mature responsibility. Your parents are your coaches. Get something from them. Your bosses are your coaches. You might hate him, but he's ahead of you. How did he get there? At least if you leave him with that knowledge, right? But me, I think, don't leave him. Stay until you beat him. Stay until you're his boss. You know? Get skills. You can't be professional unless you're skilled, guys. Skills means learn, and have the content. We talked about respect. We talked about learning. One thing that volunteering does for you is it gives you experience. Do you know, have you ever gotten out of school? How many of you are fresh graduates? I might be making many. Oh, that is so cool. You're the best people to talk to. So I walked out of school and every job was saying, 3 years experience, 2 years experience. Do you know what saved me? When I entered, okay, of course, my mom was my coach. I'll tell you that. And she coached me without knowing. Because she had a salon, school fees was paid by a salon. Yes? And I used to work in that salon every day. You guys are really, really young. But there was a play called That's Life Mwatu. So Nakaunde and Vicky used to do their hair in my mom's salon in Nankulavie, and I was the one who would style them. Do you understand? So I knew I had skills. So I went on campus and I thought, you know, I have these hair skills. But then someone told me, no. Why don't you volunteer at the legal aid clinic? So I started volunteering at the legal aid clinic every holy day. And let me tell you, because every vacation, holiday, I had been working at the salon. So now I added the legal skills. And it's my mom who told me, go and do something else near you. So I volunteered at the legal aid clinic. And in my second year, someone needed to teach some Sudanese judges about children's rights. Guess who knew children's rights? And who got to teach Sudanese judges in second year? I had that on my CV. Guess who learned from my colleagues at the clinic how to write a CV? Me. Guess who learned in my fourth year, they came up with something for juvenile justice and I went all over, you know? You'd go to Mbale and you'd ride a basket. You'd ride a bicycle with a fat seat, you know? And you go to those extreme places and speak to policemen and speak to people about juvenile justice. I came back and wrote a paper on juvenile justice. Who was an expert on juvenile justice? So when I left law school and jobs were hard, I went to KIU and asked for a job. And I remember Madame Najita, who was the dean, she told me, what's your experience? I gave her my teaching experience. Because at LDC Legal Aid, every year there is an induction for LDC students. And you teach them communication skills. Guess who was teaching LDC students communication skills for 3 years before I even ever went to LDC? So I was the first person in KIU to get a full lecturing job when I didn't even have a master's. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had experience from volunteering. Volunteering was hard, you guys. I'd ask for transport every day. My mom would say, you're the only person who is paid to go to work. It is hard. I didn't earn a penny from any of those things. And sometimes you're hungry. I had friends who would come, you know those senior lawyers at LDC, when they're going for lunch, they just pass by the clinic and pick me. Because, first of all, I was skinny. I looked like I didn't eat, you know? But I'm telling you, it was worth it. So there's going to come a time when all this stuff, all this hustle that you've done is going to count. So do it. Okay? Do the work. Volunteer. Work ethics. We've talked about work ethics. Are you fair? Are you fair? When I say fair, do you play fair? Are you nepotic? Do you only hire your friends? Or hot chicks only? Or handsome boys? There are women who say, me, I don't deal with women. I only work with guys. Women are complicated. Why? Why are you betraying your whole gender? Eh? No, seriously, I've seen that. I've seen men who are like, my best friends are only girls. Guys are too difficult. Why? You know what I mean? Your classmates come to your workplace looking for a job, you kill it. Your friend asks you, you're selling in Senene. Can I also join? How do I do it? You're like, no. In your head, you're thinking competition, right? But guess what? You could make her your agent. You could say, no, you be my retailer. I will supply you. You want to start the Senene business? I'll take you through it. I'll supply you. That's how Starbucks became a Starbucks. That's what franchising is. So God has helped you and you've been brilliant enough to start a beekeeping business. Teach others. Give them, give them honey to sell. Give them bees to groom. I don't know what they do with bees, you know. Accountability. Are you accountable, guys? When they give you money and they give you money for a project, does accountability come in 2 weeks, or do they have to chase you down? HR has to write an email saying they're going to take it from your salary. Does that happen? Do you account? Or do you have receipt books at home? You know what I mean? There are people who are experts at accountability, but it's ghost accountability. Yes? People matter, guys. People will make you or break you, so you need to learn people skills. So the 4 P's of personal accountability. People. People are your greatest resource. They drive performance. It's not technology that does. After technology dies, after the computers try to kill us and we kill them, we will still be here. People matter. Purpose. Ikigai. Yes? The goal of accountability is not to punish. But do you have a purpose? You had a purpose. You said you were going to do this training. You're going to have 40 children, students, children. But you forgot that you needed to register all of them so that you can account for the amount of food they've eaten. You need to remember your purpose always. Why are you doing this? It will help you account. Because I'm telling you, if your purpose was to build a road and you eat 4 lanes, and you leave us with 2. Have you achieved your purpose? Have you achieved your purpose? Performance. Do you measure your performance? Do you have goals? I love ticking boxes. Why? Because many times you wake up in the day, if you've not planned, you're going to do 5,000 things that you didn't plan to do. And you will miss all the only 2 things you needed to do. You will miss them. So I always say in the night before, or the Sunday night, write down everything you're supposed to do in the week. Make the ones that are very important red, and put them in the first 2 days. And then have a day that you don't have meetings. Have a day that is for you. I'm not saying don't go to work, but make sure that day, no meetings, no wedding meetings, nothing. That day, you will only work, but you'll also have time for yourself and for planning. Preserve your peace. It helps you plan. Now, you cannot perform without planning. You cannot evaluate your performance unless you've been noting it. So what are your goals? What is your job description? What do you do?
I'm a psychologist. I don't know.
And you, hey, auntie, tutandikirao, okay? You're a psychologist. So is there anything you're doing around being a psychologist? What are you doing? She volunteers with Ashinaga, Uganda. So do you get people to speak to? That's what you do. Children. Good. So you have 3 children and they have special needs, or maybe they have different things, and they have. So you met this child who told you, my father told me I'm a loser. And maybe you have this child who, give me an example.
Sometimes we have children whose parents passed away. So when they come, they be telling us, me, I'm in P1, maybe they're supposed to be in P6, because Ashinoga brings them back to P1. So maybe those are the major challenges we deal with.
So you see, that's a very peculiar challenge. And your organization, I'm sure, did not equip you to deal with a 12-year-old in P1. So educate yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So you said this is a challenge. There are many challenges at work that you're going to find that don't have a book about them. That in fact, in your job description, they are not there. Your job description doesn't have the fact that your accountant is mean and everyone who goes there leaves his office crying and you're the HR. Your job description didn't say you're going to comfort crying victims of the accountant, but suddenly it becomes that job, you know? Equip yourself, you know? Rate your performance, because these things, they're called psychosocial things that affect your job performance. You need to manage those psychosocial things. Progression. You need to ensure continuous improvement. That is what? Ubaitoe, right? Ubaitoe. Ubaitoe. You need to continually improve. Better. Sometimes you get a promotion and you know you don't deserve it. You just know. They promoted you because the other chick who is an overachiever is just annoying and she threatens the boss. So they've promoted you because you're safe. You're never going to go anywhere, so they're just keeping you there. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not a brand to have. I need you to be hungry. I need you to be ambitious. I need you to say, the next thing I want is this. Madam, right now, you should be branding yourself as a mental health specialist. You should have a Facebook page and offer free counseling. You do not know where that will take you. HR over there, I'm sure, needs psychologists and psychiatrists and all sorts of psycho things for the workplace. Go and volunteer her by the PSFU. If you have any people that need help, me, I'm here. You do not know where that will take you. So brand yourself in order to progress. But when you brand, you have to produce, right? You have to have the content. Physical appearance. Does it still matter in the workplace? Yes or no? Because if it didn't matter, why are you looking at TikTok videos of, I look cool? About today I woke up, I'm amazing. What are those little things that you people keep watching, you know? So why don't you look like those people? Let me tell you, this market in Uganda here, you can get a whole outfit for just 50,000 shillings. Did you know that? Even cheaper, I'm sure. So get your fashion consultants on TikTok and get ideas and then work it. Do you get it? Be the best. Tell yourself, I'm going to be the smartest person in. At least if there's an award for smartness, I have to get that one. Yes? I always wear heels. Do you know why I wear heels? Because I walk like a duck when I'm in flat shoes. Now I've told you. And I know that the day any of the people who respect me see me in flat shoes, it is over. Every time I go on TV, I don't like makeup, but every time I go on TV, I wear lipstick. Do you know why? Because it makes me feel like I'm serious. I used to watch those Nigerian movies where the chick jeers and the lipstick is all over and you're like, yeah, that is serious. So why do you do the things you do? President Gimara, the guy, two presidents behind me, wears a bow tie. I've never understood why. But even Olanya used to wear a bow tie. Maybe it's a thing. You know what I mean? But it makes him stand out. So what's your thing? What's your thing? I know guys who wear, what are they called? These things that hold up your pants? Suspenders. And they look so cool in something so old-fashioned and unnecessary. But it's their thing. You know? Yeah. So I'm telling you what message. Let me tell you, every day everybody's reading from you. Every day you're communicating. And your non-verbal communication is more important than any other communication. So when I walk into the room and I'm dressed like this, what am I communicating? I'm a lawyer, but I hate suits. I've hated them since LDC because they made us like penguins the whole time. So I like color. So I enjoyed myself in PR. But when I became president of the Law Society, I had to wear a few jackets because of the profession I served. So sometimes it's uncomfortable, but you need to dress for the part. Yes? Yeah. And you need to dress for the day, and you need to dress for the hour. Please do not go to field work in high heels. Do not go and visit a building site. How many engineers are here? Yes, when I say appropriate, please, your overalls and stuff are very relevant. Do you understand what I'm saying? My first day of law school, I was passing MDD, you know that where they study from? I'm trying to remember. And they were there in suits, their first day. They were wearing suits, I kid you not, and they were dancing Maganda and drumming, and I think that was their first class. They were freshers, so they like us, so they didn't know any better. We were wearing jeans and walking past them like this. Let me tell you, we got to class and we were dressed down for the way we were dressed. While we were laughing at the MDD guys sweating in suits. So we both had got it wrong, right? So what am I saying? Do the research. Never enter a room you do not know. It is criminal, guys. Never enter a room you do not know. Someone said, don't even ask questions you don't know the answers to. You'll not be ready. That girl that I saw you with, is she your ex? You're not ready. Because she's so hot, if he tells you she's his ex, you're finished. So don't, you know what I mean? Eh? If you're a journalist, we have journalists here. They're still at school. Sometimes journalists just ask a question wildly, and then they get assured, they get educated. Yes? Do you know what I mean? They didn't see it coming. They were not ready. They didn't do research. Eh? So is it true you stole the mabati? But young man, you should know I'm the one heading the investigation team. You get it, eh? Because in his head he had parliamentarians stole mabati. Let me ask them. So be prepared. What am I talking about? Preparation is everything. Presentation is everything. How do you present your PowerPoint? Today, my PowerPoint doesn't get marks. But they tell you that your PowerPoint should have no more than 6 bullets or 6 lines. Should have some pictures. I'm winning there, right? Because people's attention span is very short. And if you put a whole essay up there, like we lawyers are tempted to do, everybody's going to be so busy reading, they'll not listen to you. But then also know your content. If you are here like this, so does physical appearance still matter in the workplace? When you get ready for work, you likely make time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Did you come to learn with us? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So prepare, prepare, prepare. Have dignity. What was that word? Do you remember your word? Gammon. Have dignity. In stress, in adversity, you know? Keep learning. Continuous improvement. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't have a question. I have a comment. When she said that when the teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When we finished campus, okay, I looked and reflected at my life for 20 plus years. I saw that my life was I was just existing. I never had dreams. I never had those strong dreams, like big dreams. So I was so much desperate to learn now about life, so much desperate to change my life. And then I think why I connected much with her is because she speaks like exactly someone from Girls for Girls Uganda, and she was contesting with that lady, Diana Nisima. Oh, not this time around. Oh my God. So, yeah. So during that period, at the end of last year, I got a chance to attend a 3-hour session, which was paying 200,000 Ugandan shillings. But I am telling you, I did not put a single coin. And someone who paid it for me, I did not know them. They were not my friends. They were not in my connections, in my network. And from that time, I connected with a lady on YouTube, Tel Savelfoy. She spoke about exactly what I felt I wanted to hear, to learn about dreams and other stuff. And then from that time, that session, the 3-hour session was done by 3 beautiful ladies. And one of them later invited me and was like, you're most welcome for all the other sessions in this year, 2023. So I am attending all those sessions for free when others are busy paying. And I am really, really so excited that you really hint on that. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Phiona. My name is Mujuni Posiano. I did business administration. Okay. Now, my question is, from your speech, where you have had a lot of jobs and, okay, your career is so long. It's, okay, you can forgive my terms, but I hope you get it. But what I want to know, since I hope I can't be a perfectionist at everything, I find that I will not have all those qualities or attributes. Everything, like I will just take a few of the P's that you taught. But then what is that special attribute that was connected to everything? That, is it sales? Is it the knowledge that you had? What is that I have to have that will enable me survive everywhere that I will go? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Namanya William once again. From Miss Phiona, when you told us about, when you asked us about who played cards, that if you know someone, your colleague has a joker, you also act as if you have one. You reminded me about when I was a senior sixth vacist. I was hired by a school where I completed my O-level from to come and teach. When I was there, I used to teach agriculture from senior 1, senior 2, and then part-time senior 3, senior 4, and then teach geography paper 2, senior 5 and 6. Then, when I was there, at the end of the term, as they were rewarding teachers, they rewarded me as the most disciplined teacher, as if I have ever taught somewhere, yet I have no experience at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Phiona. Good morning. Yeah, so I have a comment. It's about as well keeping calm. So initially, I had a problem with keeping calm until he talked about cards. Well, I don't play Matatu, but I used to play Matatu, but then I joined a game called Bridge. It's also a card game, but then it requires bidding. But you don't, even if you have poor cards, you don't have to show your opponent that you have poor cards. So it's through this sport that I learned how to keep calm. So I encourage, if you have a problem with being calm, you can join that sport. It's Bridge. It's a very nice game. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Somebody asked for that one thing that you need, hunger. Hunger. And I want you to remember that it's not about you. When people are fake and political and weird, it's on them. Okay? So don't go around thinking they hate me. Who asked that question? Yes. Don't go around thinking, oh, they hate me, so I should hide and make myself small. No. Hunger. Be ambitious. But I want you to be fat. I can't tell you one thing. Know your values, stand by them. That's being faithful to them. Know who you are. Know your purpose. That's very important. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So be faithful to your values. Always. That's the one thing that has taken me through life. The second thing is be available. When you're young, all you have is time. Right? What are you using your time for? Avail yourself to people. Yes, my story is long, but I've lived a long life. But also, it sounds long because maybe I did more than the people at my time were. The people who like their space, who like their free time, their, you know. I was hungry and I was available. And, sorry. So I was available. I remember when I joined campus, I heard that there was a law fellowship. I joined it. And I created a legal choir. We called ourselves a legal choir. Then they said, oh, there is this drama group called Celebration Zoe. I joined it. At the same time, I was preparing for service and leading the choir at church and things like that. And everybody thought, you're mad. You're supposed to be doing law, right? But do you know how much I grew in leadership from just those simple things? So be available. Because in my workplace, when I joined National Water, there was no room for women in that organization. I joined in 2007. I don't know, you guys were not born maybe, but 2007, it was an engineering organization. We had like one woman on top management. So I said, what is this? We're starting a gender team. So I knew, of course, I was not important. So I went to my head of legal and I told her, can we start a gender thing? And you lead it, me, I'll be your secretary. She said yes. So we started it. And we started advocating for what? You recruited who? And how many women were on that? Eh? Do you understand what I'm saying? As we speak, our board is 50-50. Our management in Kampala, all the managers are women now, unfortunately, just Kampala. About 50 women. And that is the progress we made. When I was in my second year in working in National Water, I got a chance to go. I wrote a paper. You know, the way you probably wrote a paper for Mastercard to bring you here or something. So I wrote a paper for the International Water Association. They invited me. So I went to my MD and said, Iowa has invited me to go and present a paper. I need a ticket. And they said, well, we've not done this before, but here, get a ticket, go. So I went. So when I went, I went with a friend of mine, another colleague, and we found something called International Young Water Professionals. I said, where is this? We came back with my friend Betty. We went to the guy who's now MD. That time was just, in charge of another department. We went to him, we said, we want to create East African Young Water Professionals. He said, why East African? First start Uganda. I said, no. East African. He said, but this can be national water. We said, no. For us, we are saying East African. We started it. It seemed like a joke. We started going to schools and doing career guidance. 2008. We started doing all these things. We started something called School Water and Sanitation Clubs. Have you heard of SWAS? Anyone? Now, I remember the first SWAS convention we had 500 students and National Water refused to give us a penny. In fact, they charged us for the venue where we did it from. But that day, when the MD came in and saw 500 students there and saw that we had convinced companies to sponsor, National Water took over that event, and now it's the flagship event of. So be hungry, be available. You do not know. In your trying to make a difference here, you will create huge things. But also, in being available, be generous, share, work with teams, work with others. Because everything you create should be able to survive you. If everything you create when you leave it dies, there's a problem with you. You understand what I'm saying? When I joined the Law Society and we said we're going to build a house, I involved about 150 senior lawyers in just the procurement process. So each of them feels this is my house. So I have left now. The house is still being built on Acacia Mall, on Acacia whatever. But they own it. They're still contributing money. It has to survive you. Yes? If you're selfish, they'll kill it. Am I right? They'll kill it. So lastly, be teachable. Without continuous learning, these 7 things I've told you, they might sound like many. You need all of them. Thank you very much. We have a leadership, what is it called? Leadership fellowship for young people like you. It has been running it's a 16-week fellowship. It's every other Saturday and also online. We get you mentors, you get trained, but the things you're being trained in is how do you do a strategic plan? How do you start your company? What business are you going to start? How do you grow a team? Entrepreneurship. These are the things that you're going to learn. I will share the information with them. Our next cohort is starting in June. Our last cohort is graduating in May. And it's been an amazing cohort. The beautiful thing with that is that it attracts even CEOs. So you find yourself when you're a classmate with big people who might employ you. Yeah, so, but also I want to encourage you, we have a leadership space on Twitter Spaces every Thursday. It's free of charge. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. on Twitter Spaces. You look for the Fidelis Leadership Institute on Twitter. It's at Fidelis Leaders. So that Twitter space is also on on Smart 24 TV. Do you know it? Yeah, every 4 p.m. live. So what we do for you is, for those of you who think that the wicked prosper, we get ethical leaders who have prospered, and they tell you their story. Yes? And if you're on Twitter Spaces, you get to ask them. And our Twitter space has people from the States, from Canada, from where. So while you're there, it's an opportunity for you to see, oh, I've seen Sean Macmillan. Let me click on him and become friends. We're trying to create a critical mass of ethical leaders. Because even if you get to wash your hands and get to the table, you need to keep those hands clean to stay at the table. We're seeing them fall off the table, aren't we? Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, let's come up. But before we come up, it's a pleasure, amazing, a small one, and a big one for you. Thank you so much, Phiona, for this professionalism and personal development words. And we believe the graduates are going to be very professional and they are going to develop personally.